I think all of the elements of Ford SGF are important because they reflect our community's desires for what we want to be in the future. The three that most stand out to me first is housing. As we think about the success of a community, we can have all the other elements in place, but people need somewhere to live. And I think that's particularly true when we're looking at young families who have been increasingly priced out of home ownership being an option with the imbalance we see between supply and demand. And we're several thousand units short across different price points, across different types of housing. We cannot solve that unless we are committed to achieving the Ford SGF goal of adding housing options for residents in Springfield. The second element that stands out to me from Ford SGF is the idea of outdoors everywhere, which is found in the idea of connecting to nature and initiatives found in the plan like Ungap the Map for Ozark Greenways. We live in such a beautiful area in the Ozarks. There's so many outdoor resources, so many things to do, that the more we can invest in that, the more it improves the quality of life for our residents. It makes it a more attractive place for people to come and visit, and hopefully when they visit, they find out how much they enjoy it and they'll want to move here. But that's a real quality of life driver and a way that we can improve our community. The third item that I would identify is corridor improvements. As we look around the city of Springfield, we have entryway corridors that are not up to where that they should be. And that's a real opportunity to invest in making our city more welcoming as people are introduced to it, but also invest in corridors that can add economic activity, can add jobs, can add housing, and take advantage of areas that are currently underutilized along existing transportation infrastructure. I think when we're looking to achieve the goals of making sure that land use decisions and other associated decisions are fair, are transparent, are efficient, we need to make sure, I think, first to keep the goals in mind. We have very clear goals that are enumerated in the Ford SGF comprehensive plan that have been established by the community. We want to see more quality jobs for people. We need to see more housing options. We want to see growth in our community. And we have guidelines and direction in the plan for how we achieve those things. And so we need to make sure that we're making decisions and providing everyone involved in the process with fair certainty. The vision is out there, the guidelines are out there, the processes are clearly established, and it's our responsibility to make sure that we are following those, again, with the goal of achieving what we want to achieve based on our community's comprehensive plan. That means that we need to make sure that we're communicating, we need to make sure that we are listening, we need to make sure that we are staying true to our processes. And it also means that at the end of the day, that those of us on council need to make sure that we've heard everybody, but we are willing to make the right decision on each of these cases, even if it may not be the easy one. Because when we're looking at those decisions, they are oftentimes decisions that are going to have impacts that will last beyond the current generation. In terms of things like the availability of housing, in terms of things like the availability of jobs and how we grow as a community. And so I think part of that is council being able to make those tough decisions. And I think a big part of it too is making sure that we have the codes and processes that achieve those goals. And we have a real opportunity with the land use code overhaul that we're working through right now based on Ford SGF that I think will have a real positive impact. I think when we're looking at infrastructure improvements, certainly we want to look at the improvements that align with our goals as a community. But on top of that, I think we want to look at prioritizing projects that can leverage either private investment or other external investment so that when we invest in an infrastructure project, it has cascading effects in terms of adding housing, in terms of adding good jobs, in terms of adding community amenities or other economic activity that benefits the residents of Springfield. If we are just investing in infrastructure by itself with nothing that it leverages or nothing that it leads to, then we're not making full use of our money. I think a good example of that are investments that we're making in the Grant Avenue Parkway, which is utilizing federal funds for the infrastructure investment. It's taking a corridor that is currently not utilized to its full potential, and we're making those investments in a way that will attract private investments along the corridor once it's done. The Restore Jordan Creek project downtown is another example of leveraging external funds for a project that will then be a catalyst for private investment around it, where you have buildings that have been vacant for a long time. You have a lot of developable land just adjacent to our downtown, and being able to turn that from the underutilized area it is now to a vibrant area with housing, with jobs, with economic activity. That will improve downtown, that will improve the city, and help advance our forward SGF goals as well. So that to me is key, and I think that is found too in the priorities we see for our 3/4 cent tax, the half-cent portion of that, where we are looking for making those investments that do have that effect of drawing in additional investment from other sources.